Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. June 9th, 2016. The big news headlines are that Barack Obama, the sitting president, has endorsed Hillary Clinton as the Democratic nominee. He also met with Bernie Sanders earlier today before the announcement, probably telling Bernie that this is what he was to do. We're now hearing from Bernie Sanders that he's going to work with Hillary Clinton. We'll see what that means. Will there be an announcement of a Hillary Bernie ticket? I don't know how that would make Bernie Sanders supporters feel, but it would make Hillary Clinton a lot more likable to many at the same time. So we'll see what transpires there. What I want to show in this video is why today's endorsement is happening today, June 9th. Several reasons why. If you're new to my channel, I am showing how history, news is scripted, planned, and executed according to the laws of numbers, dates, numerology. My book is almost finished. It starts from the beginning of the country, comes all the way up to the present, shows how our entire history is contrived by the numbers. If you're new here, I'm going to give you an example of that with today's news. I'm also going to talk about why the Pittsburgh Penguins are a lock to win the Stanley Cup tonight. The script is in. The world of news, the world of elections, the world of professional sports, they are all scripted, they're all planned, they're all part of a mass duping of the populace. And this mass duping mostly goes on through the television. So if you're new to my channel, we talk about the language of numerology and gematria. And before we get into why Hillary today, let's just do a little warm up with this big emphasized headline from CNN. I'm with her. What is this all about? I'm with her in gematria sums to 113. And 113 is a very special number to the Zionist Jews. In Bava Kama 113a, it says it's okay for a Jew to lie to somebody who's not Jewish, to be dishonest, to deceive. The Zionist Jews control the mainstream media. They control a lot more than that. They control our government and much more. And all throughout history, they code this number 113 on their wrongdoing. And that includes elections, which are grand deception. Nobody's votes count. They always have a predetermined person to take office. This is true of every president from George Washington up to the present. No exceptions. And this moment is Hillary's, and we're going to talk about why. But I'm with her 113, mainstream 113, dishonest 113, green screen 113. Think about how they use the green screen to deceive people. Bava Kama 113a. The word perjury is 113. This word has a lot to do with lying, being dishonest. The small way, this phrase also equals 59, which I find very interesting because this is a number often stamped on black people. Negro equals 59, slave equals 59, blues equals 59. Motown Records came out in 59 for a reason. Think about what Obamacare is. You know, it's blamed on this president, but it's not really his doing. But just think about it. The first black president, Obamacare, enslaving the masses, making them pay for mandatory health insurance that people don't want. You know, I'm all about health and taking care of myself, but I don't want to pay for this healthcare system that's based on fraud and be forced to and be fined if I don't. I'm with her. What a joke. We'll get more to it. Let's jump to tonight's Pittsburgh Penguins video. A lot of people always ask me to do videos on the NHL. I don't follow the NHL at all, but I understand how sports are rigged. I see why the script is in tonight for the Penguins. This headline right here from ESPN, Penguins Sharks Game 5 could be epic. This is no coincidence here, this headline. This is a coded headline. It has gematria of 131, a very important number in sports championships. The word championship equals 131. Super Bowl equals 131, you know, the football championship. When you write out 57, it equals 131. This is a number often coded into championships in various ways. World Series, the baseball championship, also 57. These numbers, big in championships, 57 and 131. Here it is coded into the headline. Penguins Sharks Game 5 could be epic. Today is June 9th, a date written 9/6 in most parts. The word Stanley equals 96, a lot like the date. In the NHL, they play for the Stanley Cup. The word Freemason equals 96. It's Freemasons, Zionist Jews running the show by the numbers. The use of this word epic is no coincidence either. Epic, a 33 word, just like Stanley. NBA Finals, 33, another important number. So tonight, if the Penguins win, they'll have won 4-1 over the Sharks. It's interesting to note that the NBA Finals are going on right now. You know, the NHL season 82 games, the NBA season 82 games, they run parallel to each other. In the NBA, there's a team not far from San Jose, the Golden State Warriors, and in the NBA, there's a team not far from Pittsburgh, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Very close, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Very similar championships. And I'll also point out that this year was the first year in the NHL in 46 years that there was no team from Canada in the playoffs. Meanwhile, in baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Canadian team, went very deep. And also in the NBA, the Toronto Raptors, the Canadian team, went very deep. Canadian sports teams in the other leagues did well. No Canadian sports teams representing the NHL, the sport that they really love. Also, the NHL, the last game was decided for the championship. It was a Game 7 against the Lightning. In the NBA, the last game decided for the championship was Game 7 against the Thunder. The Lightning and the Thunder both got eliminated. I don't think that's a coincidence either. All these leagues scripted by the same gang. And I don't know why so many people always come here and ask how could they script a sport. I mean, it's easy. If one team knows they have to win and the other lose, in hockey that can be done. Take less shots on goal. Make sure your shot's off. You know, how often does a goalie let through a suspicious shot, you know, where you're just like, what happened there? Perhaps the goalie knows he has to let in the shot. You know what I mean? I want to point out that from today to Election Day is 152 days. You know, Hillary got endorsed today by the man on Pennsylvania Avenue. All these sports synced up. We've been talking about how the NBA Finals in history have foreshadowed who will become the president. When the West wins, we get a Republican. When the East wins, we get a Democrat. That's what's gone on all throughout history. And the time of the NBA, well, perhaps the NHL factors in too. You know, a team from Pennsylvania winning tonight 152 days before the election. Big endorsement for Hillary on a date that can be written 9/6. The women got the right to vote, run for office 96 years ago. Sidney Crosby also wears the number 87, quite fitting for Clinton, Hillary Clinton. From Hillary Clinton's birthday to Inauguration Day this year is 87 days. Not only is he wearing number 87, I mean, look, he's born August 7th, 8/7, in the year 87. Hilarious, right? To me, it's hilarious. I'm sure there's a lot more to the story, but I just want to show you guys the basics. From today until Sidney Crosby's birthday is 59 days. Funny how we just talked about that number. Sidney Crosby in gematria sums to 59. 59 days until his birthday. He's currently 28 years old. The word man equals 28. Might be a good age to be as an athlete. That name Crosby also has gematria of 82. In several videos I've showed how many NBA stars. I spend more focus on the NBA. How many NBA stars have 82 coded into their name, such as Allen Iverson. Just talked about him the other day. Just turned 41. Here the Pens might win 4-1. Special number right now in the NBA too. You know, all this 41 all year in the NBA. Golden State equals 41. Kobe Bryant equals 41. Joe Jellybean Bryant drafted into the NBA 41 years ago by the Golden State Warriors. The NBA season wrapped up with Golden State and Kobe Bryant. It's all a big script. But anyway, Crosby 82 like the number of games in the NHL. And here's the short little trip from Cleveland to Pittsburgh. You know? Right there. So now let's get to Hillary's endorsement today in the headlines. I liked this one right here with Bernie. I look forward to meeting with Clinton. This is right after Bernie's meeting with Obama. I wonder what he got told. These headlines, they tell the story. I look forward to meeting with Clinton has gematria 402, which is very much like 42. 0 doesn't count in numerology when it's in the middle of a number. NYC also equals 42. This is important because the name Clinton comes from the original political dynasty out of New York City at the beginning of the country. The Clintons were the first governors of New York. George Clinton became the fourth vice president to Madison. It's the reason it's Madison Square Garden in New York. Anyhow, 40242. When you decode the headline with the other method, I look forward to meeting with Clinton, it sums to 168, just like New York City. Again, the Clintons from New York, something I talk about all the time. Bill Clinton, not born Bill Clinton, born Bill Blythe. His father murdered on a date with 87 numerology. He ends up taking the name Clinton with 87 gematria later in life. Big deal when CNN announced Obama's endorsement. Breaking news. Again, from today until the election is 152 days. This endorsement comes from the man on Pennsylvania Avenue. The state of Pennsylvania, the same night, has a chance to clinch the Stanley Cup. If you count from today until election day with the end date, the full span of days, one way it's 152 days from now. If you count today as well, it's a span of 153 days. 153 is a number often stamped on 42. This coding comes from the Bible, and likely it was encoded into the Bible because of its greater significance, which I still don't understand. But this pairing happens all the time, 153 and 42. In the Bible, 153 catch of fish, it's called the miraculous catch. Miraculous equals 42, fish 42, 153 fish. Freemason 42. The original Bibles were called 42-line Bibles. The genealogy of Jesus is 42 generations to begin the New Testament. The word new, the big way, is 42. New Testament, the small way, is also 42. Lots of 42 in the Bible. The beast rules for 42 months in Revelation, the end. In this case, they often pair 153 and 42 with stories having to do with women, usually if it's a divisive narrative, or also race. And, think about things we're divided over. Politics, race, religion, sex. This coding in a lot of divisive words. The most hateful word for black Americans, 42. Female, also 42. Span of 153 days. The first black president endorsing the first female president to be. Let's see, where did I put it? I wanted to make the point that Obama's attorney general, which is a sick joke, Loretta Lynch, a black woman, equals 153. I've done a lot of videos on Loretta Lynch and her nomination, her whole process by the numbers, by very racist numbers. Loretta Lynch is born in the year 59, all these 59 words. When you write out 5 and 9, they sum to 42. The only two numbers that do. But anyway, all these people are actor agents, scripted to be, planned out lives. They are our planned leaders, if you will. I don't want to call them leaders. But anyway, just look at this. Like the name Barack Hussein Obama, right after the time of being fear-mongered with Osama and Saddam Hussein. Then we get the President Barack Hussein Obama. It's all part of a sick joke. But anyway, Barack equals 216. His birthday is August 4th, the 216th day of the year. Cleveland, home of the 216 area code. All this foreshadowing, politics, sports. When you multiply 6 times 6 times 6, it equals 216. It's a backhanded way of getting to the number 666, 216. Barack Obama on his 6th year, 6th month, 6th day in office. It's when he was speaking in Kenya. Some people say he's really from Hawaii, Kenya. There's a Hawaii, Kenya there. I don't know, and really I don't care about all that. If he's really from another country, that's the least of my concerns in terms of the problems we got in this world. It would just be all part of the grand deception. And it really doesn't matter where these people are from. They all sell us out, whether they're from America or Kenya, But anyway, it's all part of a grand script. Obama's the 44th president. Look at this. The divisors of the number 44 sum to 84. Obama's born August 4th. United States of America equals 84. Obama in Jewish gematria equals 84. He just went to Vietnam. Vietnam equals 84. He overturned a weapons embargo in place since 1984. Vietnam, home of the plus 84 international dialing code. If you haven't seen my video on May 23rd and Obama's trip to Vietnam, check that out. Whole lot more to it than that. But this is just what's going on, scripted news stories day by day. With regards to the number 42, the word Freemason, the small way is 42, the big way 96. These numbers interconnected. If you add the divisors of 42, they also sum to 96. Remember Hillary Clinton becoming the first female nominee for the major party in the history of the country, 96 years after women earned the right to vote. That date in history was June 4th, 1919, when women earned the right to vote. That means they're now in the 97th year of having this right. It's now 97 years later. We just passed the anniversary. The majority of Hillary's campaign, it went on for all of the 96th year. So now we're in the 97th year, and here's what 97 makes me think of, because we've been talking about this a lot. Civil War in Gematria equals 97. Obama, when he went to Vietnam, which was a civil war, on that same day, the news headline came out about the acquittal of the police officer responsible for the death of Freddie Gray. And the Freddie Gray thing was a tribute to the American Civil War. He was injured April 12th in Baltimore. He died April 19th in Baltimore. The Civil War began 1861, April 12th in Charleston. But the first casualty of the war wasn't until April 19th in Baltimore, just like Freddie Gray. April 12th, April 19th, first death in Baltimore. Whole lot more to it than that. This Civil War coding, it's very important. You might recall that before Freddie Gray, Walter Scott was shot in the back in Charleston, the 47-year anniversary of the death of MLK. Then after Freddie Gray, there was a shooting in Charleston again at a black church, Charleston, Baltimore, beginning of the Civil War. This is what's going on right now. And actually, this is what's always going on. There's always narratives out there to divide us over all these things. It's constant reinforcement through the media. That's what it's all about. All of these stories, all of these narratives, it's all about pulling us apart, dividing us. Think about what sports are. Fans cheering for their team, hating the other team. How many fans get drunk and beat each other at these games? NHL. You've got the players out there beating each other on the ice. I know a lot of people can handle this stuff and be responsible and enjoy it and be decent people. But overall, this is what it's all about. It's all just part of a big divide and conquer machine. And it's all synced up and coded by the numbers. The Civil War began on April 12th, the 102nd day of the year. Hillary's campaign officially began April 12th, 2015 last year. Another Civil War connection. If you didn't see the video I did yesterday on her clinching on June 6th, I'll link that in the description. Talk more about the significance of 102 and a few other words. You want to see that video? What else pops out about this June 9th endorsement is this right here. From today until Inauguration Day is a span of 226 days. Also 32 weeks and 2 days, kind of like 322, the Masonic Order, Skull and Bones, former presidents have been a part of. But 226 really reminds me of Bill Clinton. When he first became president, February 26, 1993, that was the date of the World Trade Center bombing. Part of this ongoing agenda. 226. This number is very important. I've heard that this date, February 26th, is very important to the Satanists. I don't fully have it unlocked what's up with 226, but it's a number that gets coded all the time. In the movie Taxi Driver, there is a massacre. If you've never seen the movie Taxi Driver, it's based on Walter Bremer, who shot George Wallace on the campaign trail in 1972, 44 years ago. A lot of stories this year have been dropping riddles with taxi driver clues connected to Jodie Foster. You can go back and watch my older videos. I just want to point out, though, in this movie Taxi Driver, where the mass murder happens, it's at apartment building 226, and this is set in New York City. We're talking about the Clintons, New York. The same people who give us our movies are the same people who create our news. They're the same people who rig our sports leagues. They are the Masons, the Zionist Jews, the Jesuits. They've built this world around us. And it's always been ran this way. And it's going to continue to be run this way until the day we stop these people. If you want to check out a lot of words that have to do with 226, maybe you can put the pieces of the puzzle together. Go to gematrix.org. I'll link this blog post. You can just click on this. It'll take you there. You can just type in 226, and it'll generate a list of words with this gematria. You can look through them. Maybe you'll see something I don't. Words such as Armageddon have connection to 226. I don't think it's Armageddon, though. I think it's something else. Yeah, Truth Seeker. So this is pretty much it, huh? 96 years later, first women president, Freemason, divide and conquer. For all of you Bernie Sanders supporters, understand this. Bernie Sanders is part of the fraud too. If Bernie Sanders was legit, he wouldn't talk about the fake boogeymen that are put out by these Masons and Zionists, such as Al-Qaeda and ISIS. There's no such thing. They're just Western mercenaries, if they even exist. The real terrorists are in Israel and in our government. They are the Masons and the Zionists. They're the ones we need to be talking about, in harsh tones in the media, not the false boogeymen, which Bernie Sanders does. Bernie Sanders is also apparently duped by all these fake shooting hoaxes. That's not good enough. We don't need people who aren't smart enough to see through the lies. And really, I think he sees through it. I think he knows all about it. I think he's a part of it. Bernie Sanders is 74 years old. Jewish equals 74. Masonic equals 74. He went to school in Chicago, where all these Masons and Zionist Jews come out of. Class is 64. Israel 64. Zion 64. Thelema's 64. This is all their stuff. Bernie Sanders, he's just here to give people false hope. I've been telling people all this time, it's just going to be Hillary. It's all scripted for her. There's been a million clues before this. This is just the latest. So I'll link yesterday's video, but I fully expect Penguins to win tonight. Penguins equals 42, you guys. 42 for the Penguins also. And I expect Hillary to win on November 8th. And neither wins will be earned. They will have been scripted. Until next time.